that was manly. That was a manly scream. We're good. We're totally fine. And welcome back to the Create Mod here on Music Free Gaming. It is great to have you here, and I'm here in front of my nether tree factory, which is doing pretty well, actually. There's one little odd thing which I might want to fix, but we're not going to worry about that now. Right now, I have a wart problem, and I need to do something about it really quick. Here's the problem, right? These do a great job of cutting down the trees, right? But all of the wart blocks, whether it's the nether wart up there, or the crimson wart over there, or warped wart, all of that ends up just getting sucked into nothingness, really. Right now I just have a chest that, well, is full. Turns out this fills up after about 10 minutes. So what I need to do is, I think, get things set up so that I can collect all of these wart blocks and maybe recycle them and feed them into the farms up top. I think that's going to be the way to go here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a funnel here. Now, right now it's pointing the wrong way, so nothing gets sucked into it. I have a filter that should suck in all of the nether tree extra goodness. All right, so now that's all going to get sucked into this vault. So now the clock is ticking, and as of now, we are keeping score. Except for the fact I don't know what the score is, because that's just how life goes, I suppose. Anyway, all of that is going to get sucked in here, and now I need to actually do something with it. So step one is to fill this thing, right? There's my vault, and just to set a bunch of hoppers underneath it, feeding into composters, right? And yeah, bam, those are full in a hurry, because it turns out composters, well, they compost, but the nether leaves and stuff, they get composted fast. They fill up bone meal like nothing. So the next thing I need to do is start getting some hoppers feeding down this way, because unfortunately chutes do not pull out of the composters. You have to use hoppers for that, which is a little bit annoying, but it's not that big a deal. Sort of like playing with the block sounds off. It's a little bit annoying, but in this case, it's a lot less annoying than all the chugga that's happening with the machinery here. I should drop off some things. Well then. Ah! Okay. So that was manly. That was a manly scream. We're good. We're totally fine. The plan here is to take this lovely encased fan, and it's going to sit right there, and it's going to blow up that way. And then we'll grab some of these lovely encased chain drives to give myself a little bit of room here. And I hope everything is blowing out in the right direction. It's going to come in this way somewhere. I'm going to need a vertical gearbox. Come on. Right there. Vertical gearbox, which is going to slip in underneath the fan. And probably another gearbox right here next to it. And then if everything works right, we can see that it is blowing the wrong way. Okay, that's annoying. Cool. Well, yep, fans pull from below. So I guess I'm gonna have to flip this around somehow. And it's sorted out. Just had to play a few games here, but everything is now working so that items are being blown up from down here all the way up top where I want them to go, which is awesome. That is a wonderful thing. One of the best things I ever did was put blocks over those saws, man. Otherwise, they would slice me into little bitty pieces. And I don't want to be sliced into little bitty pieces. Turns out, I don't, it doesn't work well for my body type to be in little bitty pieces. It just doesn't. Again, beacon would be awesome here. But I didn't build a beacon, and I've got the beacon bits, which is not quite what you would put on a salad. I mean, I guess if you wanted to have something light for lunch, a salad with beacon bits would be the way to go. But I don't have them with me, so we're just going to have to do it the slow way. All right, so I have belts hooked up now. So everything that comes up these guys, these chutes, are going to come up, end up on this. Make sure that torch got in there. Okay. Everything is going to come up these chutes onto this belt and whip over this way, and then this way, and then right down over here. Okay. And so the bone meal should end up in this vault, which will then feed out this way. Now, I think just to make life a little bit easier on myself, I think I'm going to have these spit out in a little bit larger chunks. At least 32 bone meal. I think that's going to make it a little bit nicer as it feeds in. You know, maybe not. I was just thinking of belt space, but in all honesty, it really doesn't matter. So, okay. Cool, so now I have a way of feeding bone meal into this. Now I just need to actually get bone meal into this. Remember these happy hoppers? Yeah, this is where all of the bone meal is going to come from. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick chutes right here. Oops, that's not where that's going to go at all. And all of this bone meal should, but doesn't, pop in over here. Probably what I'm going to have to do, which is not a big deal. Take that off, is grab a funnel. Fortunately, I have my toolbox right here. And so I can grab a funnel just like this and slap that right there. So now all of the bone meal is going to slide. You can see it going right up the chutes. Right, it's going to sling this way, down into this, and feed out into each of those, which is great because this will generate a lot of stuff. Now, it would be kind of cool to take the bone meal from here and also, sorry, as I free cam down, feed it into this chest and the matching chest over here, which would then basically fully power up these guys as well. So we'll take a look and see if that's possible. But for now, I think this is going to be okay. All right, so this has been running for a minute and all of these hoppers are full, which means my composters are not keeping up. Which means I think what I'm going to do is I am going to extend this guy. And basically, I'm just going to put another vault coming this way. Now, this shouldn't block anything. I've got nothing here, which will be good. And I'm just going to set up another vault, another filter, or a set of filters. And hopefully, if I can set up another set of 16 or 20 composters, everything here will keep up. At least that's the hope and dream. All right, I have the other vault set up. It's not pulling anything in yet, but everything is set up to feed down into the chutes and this way. Now, I've sped up this line just a little bit. I set up a barrel here with a smart chute or a smart funnel here, and then a brass funnel here that is bunching everything up into stacks before it feeds it up to the rest of the pipe here. So that I think is going to be awesome. It definitely is making this process a lot faster. It's clearing everything out from underneath these chutes significantly faster, and that is really going to help clear the output of this. All right, so I've got a new filter in place, and unfortunately, I'm actually not stopping and recycling any of the shroom lights, which might be a mistake, but for now, I'm going to go with it. So the idea is now everything's going to come through. It'll get sucked into this vault first. If this vault fills up, then it will fill into this vault. Okay. That means I'm going to have something like, well, this is 12, and I had a block, so I only had 10. So I've got 22 composters dealing with all of the output for this thing, which I hope is going to be able to keep up. I already know that 10 doesn't keep up here, but 12 may or may not. It looks like I'm keeping up pretty well, but it's going to be an interesting challenge, trying to get all of this stuff composted. But if these 12 don't keep up, it will feed back into these hoppers, right? This vault and these hoppers here. So ultimately, if it does back up, said I'll have 22 composters just turning all of that into bone meal, which will feed up here. Now, remember, what's cool about this is all of this stuff gets washed out, right? This is all the roots and stuff. All of that gets composted as well and feeds the bone meal for this system. So hopefully we'll be able to keep this whole thing running just on the output from the trees. That would be really awesome. If I can keep this self-sufficient so that I don't need to do, I don't need to build another bone meal farm, like moss-based one, that would be that would be great, to be honest with you. All right, because yeah, I definitely need to smash my face into cliff walls a couple of times. That's really, really the best way of approaching any sort of create contraption is with percussive engineering. Totally the way to go. All right, I have it pretty much set up to feed extra bone meal that comes in on this line. If it fills up this chute, this vault, all that good stuff. The excess, I want to come down this line, swing over this way, and let me free cam over here. It'll jump into these chutes and then suck everything down into this chest and this vault, which holds the bone meal. Right, so that'll give me all of the extra stuff that I need. Now, it's not working at the moment because I don't have the funnel set up on the vault right here. So if I just drop that like that, boom, there we go. So now all of that bone meal is going to chug along that way. And we'll just slap a little glass here on top to hopefully keep the farm from accidentally dumping stuff on it that shouldn't be there. This is going to be good. So anything extra that comes in here, right, if that fills up, will end up getting dumped out here. Now I just need to set this up on the other side. So I'm down here at the chest by the Crimson Farm. I haven't hooked up the chute yet. You can see I've got 48 bone meal down here, so this is working. Cool, so now that's going to go in here to this storage vault and feed bone meal out into the rest of the system, which is exactly what I want. So, excellent. So, any extra bone meal, if the machines up top are full, like I've generated enough fungus to keep feeding these for a while, all the extra wart blocks will still get composted, fed up into the machines, and then fed directly back out into all of this stuff, which is awesome. Okay, yeah, so we're doing okay for the moment. These hoppers are pretty well full, right? I mean, sure, there's some more vines that could go in, that type of thing, but all of the blocks are pretty well filling up here. Now, this side isn't doing anything at the moment, which means this vault isn't full. But if it does fill up, which it can, it's not, these 12 composters are definitely not keeping up, then these guys will start taking over. They'll start taking the excess stuff that doesn't get loaded into here, will end up over here, it'll compost and everything will go. So I think I'll have to keep an eye on it. But honestly, I think I'm now at a really good spot for all of this to be functioning. You know what I mean? Also, I'm gonna, totally totally not fly where I want to, but I think this is going to work. As long as the machinery doesn't get blocked, I think this is going to be fine. Well, that is going to do it for me today. This has been great. From what I've been able to tell, I'm getting pretty much enough bone meal just from all of the warped blocks to keep this thing running without the need for a bone meal farm. So that is awesome. Now, it's not perfect. There are some definite problems occasionally. The machines could manage to get locked up with the wrong fungus on the nylium or some other weirdness, but I think I'm happy with this. If there's a problem, I can go fix it. But for the most part, this is going to work. So wonderful. So I guess I'll figure out something to do next time. But until then, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and all that good stuff. And until next time, this is Music Free Gaming signing off.